The Friday game's going to be streamed? Yes, that is open to the co-streamer program. On the left-hand side, we have the members of Baby on board. We have Coffee on the Falstead Tarask, or Kyle Ferguson, on the Diva. Kyberries will be on the Uther. Mockery on the Hanzo, and Cavalier Guest on the Leoric. For the right-hand side, we have the members of our red team. This will be BeefBois. We have Tribulation on the Sonya. Sexy Exy will be on the Joanna. Albatox on the Chromie. Root Beer Guy is on that Deckard Kane. And we have, I think it's just Derek. I'm just going to go with Derek is going to be on the Tychus. Let's go ahead and get into our mid lane, and it is going to be a Lightning Rod build Falstead. So we'll see how this works out for Coffee and how quickly he can build those stacks up. Early game, it might be a little difficult, but in sustained rotations, that's actually not bad at all. You can kind of stick to someone, especially like a Deckard Kane, a Chromie, a Joanna as well. It doesn't matter if Joanna pops the Iron Skin, you're still getting ticks for those extra shots after, I believe, the third one, yes. Now, there's other talents, like Charged Up, that allow you to be able to have extra ticks, as well as a larger range, which I expect this to be full W build because of the ability to build into that W so much quicker once you get to that level 7, if I'm not mistaken, on that Charged Up. Uther also will be going into the Hammer of the Lightbringer, so basic attacks are going to be a big thing for them. I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Kyberry split off at one point to just go and auto-attack into a camp to build those stacks. I know on Hanamura Temple, there's actually a whole, like strategy. It's like, all right, you auto-attack like 2 waves, and then you go over to the fortification camp in the top left or bottom right, depending on what side you are, and you auto-attack through that entire camp. It takes forever, but once you finish it, you get all your stacks, and it's something that 1 or 2 teams I've played with, I've heard them doing it, or at least the Uther, saying that, hey, you have no healer because I got to go get my stacks for the next 2 minutes or whatever. So it's really, really cool tactics you can utilize with that Uther and that Hammer of the Lightbringer at level 1. But right now, it's rotations between lanes, early game experience, and waiting at that 2-minute 30 mark for our first objective, which will be a Mortar Punisher in that top lane. Thank you so much, Big Scary, for sharing that link. I hope Derek is okay to say. I'm never sure. I was just like, you know what? What's the easiest word in this sentence? But I hope you're all doing well today, and thank you for joining me for our little NGS cast. And then, as I said, we're gonna get into some Heroes League. Oh my god, some Storm League. There we go. Leoric will be the first one to go down, but honestly, out of all the heroes you're going to lose, not the worst one to lose. He can respawn the battlefield, he can cheat death. Right now, though, Kyberries and friends will grab this camp from bottom lane and put some pressure against the members of BeefBois. We currently have Baby on board, continuing to make rotations and keep up that experience. Even though the enemy team got an earlier kill, we can still see there's a little bit of a split when it comes to mercenaries, and that's kind of making up for it a little bit, as well as some minion experience. I want to just take a peek into top lane. Look at the Sonya versus Diva. Seems like it's going well for both of them, actually. No one really winning or losing the lane, just kind of matching. And that's, I guess I would say, it isn't great for them, but it's great for, I guess, the game itself. Just the sustained back and forth between them is very healthy. It's not like one of them is just dominant because of either prowess, skill, or, well, power in general. Objective phase is up here for the top lane, and it is going to be that Mortar Punisher, as we mentioned beforehand. There is going to be the Shaman camp in favor for the members of this excuse me, I keep wanting to say blue team because of in-houses, but from Baby on board. And I keep mentioning this, and I want to bring this back again. Experience. Any experience deficit that was found from that initial kill has really been made up by minion experience, specifically. I mean, that's a large gap in minion experience, but also mercenaries. These things do add up. These little things really add up early game, and getting close to the 7 talent here during the first objective phase can be so useful for a team, because you have a new talent over the enemy team, you have scaling as well when it comes to your hero. Let's see what happens here for Baby on board, who's actually forcing BeefBois out of this engagement. Seems like Baby on board will be able to grab this first objective. Not halfway through it just yet. It's a little bit of tapping here and there. Falstead, by the way, I want to note this is showing in bottom lane, and Sonya showing in mid. I can actually show you that right now. This is the, oh, what? I'm on camera lock. There we go. This is the vision for Kyberries, and you can see that there is going to be that Sonya showing in mid. Derek is so low. I realize they say Derek, and there's not even an I in that. My bad. My apologies. A little bit of some of the words just moving around. So I guess we just have Dirk. I honest to God, I read Derek at the end of that. I don't know how. Sorry, Dirk. I think it is Kalis, yeah. I think it is a reference to that. It is part of your name? Oh, okay. Sorry about that. I don't know why Sorry. We're going to move on. Falstead still split soaking through the bottom lane. Isn't building any of those stacks, but here, this is that charged up, as I was mentioning beforehand, really going to be able to stack into potentially the Sonya, actually. I was waiting to see if Coffee would just kind of sit on top of that Sonya in this bottom lane, and she might be able to do that to the Falstead as well. I want to be able to note what's happening up in this top lane right now. Cavalier is pushing in with the Punisher, but it seems like Mockery and Kyberries want to back off right now, at least positionally, or they just want to poke from afar, but Cav did step back in. Slows will be there. Does Leorc have a Wraithwalk? Misses the Spectral Leech and will get picked off. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, we do go back into the Tarask versus Tribulation team fight, or I guess not team fight, solo lane. I guess if for them it probably feels like a team fight because they get no support from anyone, so it's just them sitting by themselves consistently. Let's go ahead and cycle through the other numbers, get an idea of what those look like as we are going to be getting into our 10 talent tiers in just a wee bit. Ooh, is there an invade onto this camp from the side of Mockery, from Baby on board? I was gonna say Mockery on board. No. All right, it's just gonna be trade on camps. Thank you so much, Dirk. Hope you have a great day. All right. Kyle doesn't get hit by the Condemn. The grenade was what took the mech down, so it's only going to be half a hero kill for the side of BeefBois, but still, removing that mech is going to slow down D.Va's aggression, and Tribulation can be able to push in this top lane a little bit more, and maybe even split off and grab this Shaman camp. I didn't look at when the Punisher went down, but we're probably nearing the announcement of our Arcane, oh my god, Frozen Punisher in the mid lane. I keep seeing the right thing and going, no, I didn't see the right thing. I also want to just quickly look at some of the healing. So 13,000 versus 10,000, or excuse me, 10,000 versus 13,000 when it comes to our two healers right there. But either way, we do continue on into our game number 1 here on Infernal Shrines, with that next Punisher popping up soon, and a little bit of a wait here. We're still oh, it is going to be Leap Sonya. That's what I was waiting to see. That's all I wanted to see. So is there going to be an engagement in mid? That's the Leorc, big Entomb. Mostly the big arrow hits onto Sexy Exy. Tribulation leaps into the back line. Hanzo will be able to get that Divine Shield from Kyberries, but Kyberries falling very low, will go down. Has some ghost healing for Cavalier Guest, who's trying to back off, but right now the members of Baby on board are going to lose one. Not be able to counteract the enemy team with Dirk popping the Commandeer Odin, and now going to be sieging in through mid lane. Sexy Exy a little bit low, get some potions from Root Beer Guy. And it looks like just a disengage. Commandeer Odin should end in just a moment. Cav is considering stepping back into this enemy team, but getting shredded by the Leorc. The Condemn's going to pull Cavalier back in. The Tornado's not going to be enough. Does Dirk have a grenade over the wall? No, not going to be the case. Very, very close right there. But Leorc will be able to hearth away, get back full in the Hall of Storms, and we will continue into rotations looking for 13 talent here before our next objective phase. Just want to skim through some of the talents and see what's happening with any of those. Chromie already finished her level 1 questing talent. 20 heroes with Deep Breathing. Not the easiest, but on a map like this where people clump up around objective phases, people run in a straight line to disengage, tight corridors, that is going to be a very easy talent for them to finish out. I'm assuming because these are very mechanically skilled players, in my opinion. We are in Division A East. We're, I would say, towards the top tier of NGS. It's not Storm Division, but I mean, Storm Division isn't the same as CCL, so that's a bad comparison. Sexy Exy is going to be harassed a little bit by the members of Baby on board. Hanzo got an arrow into the enemy team, which I think kind of paused the counter engagement onto anyone who's diving onto the Joanna, but realistically, it's a lot of heroics going back and forth. No big setup as Sexy Exy gets shredded by the Falstead. That'll be a kill for the members of Baby on board. Dirk is going to get hit by the Gust from Coffee, who was trying to maybe make an aggressive setup for the friendly team. Unfortunately, the friendly team wasn't set up for any sort of catch into that Tychus, and this will just be disengaged from both sides. The kill going over the side of Baby on board. It is a replay cast, yes. No, this is Patrick. Yeah, there's no like live games in the middle of the day like this for NGS, and why not? Why not cast some games and hang out? 13 in favor for Baby on board as BeefBois are going to pop the Commandeer Odin and try and turn things around onto at least D.Va, who's got barely any health on that mech. Gets locked into place by the scroll ceiling from Deckard Cain. Mockery's going to agility over the wall. Taras trying to back off from those Dragon Breaths from Chromie. As Tribulation comes back in, Leap is up and available, gets the jump onto this Falstead who goes down. Leorc gets picked off as well. Mockery tried to throw out another arrow just to lock down the enemy team and allow his friendly members to disengage, but right now Tarask loses their mech mech once again, tries to pop the big shot, and it's not enough. That'll be a triple kill for the side of BeefBois. The members of Baby on Board trying to defend from the far side of this. Mockery poking with some arrows, waiting for that Punisher to jump, maybe over to Kaiberries, maybe over to themselves. It's a little risky, but Mockery, actually, I do want to point this out, doing a really good job of being able to play from a distance right now, not allowing the Punisher to be able to get into that range where it triggers the jump over to Hanzo. Well played. Well played range and just knowledge, because it's not something that you're able to... It's not something that's shown. It's not like everyone just knows the range of the Punisher, so Hanzo being able to play within that kind of... that little circle is really, really well played. Scouting arrow, excuse me, Sonic arrow will check out the camp on the left-hand side. It's mostly just BeefBois controlling the map at this point. First Punisher did go over to the side of Baby on Board. BeefBois got the second Punisher, and I would say both teams got equal value out of those Punishers. A fort, and just about that. Entomb comes out from Leoric, and it actually blocks Sexy Exy from getting out, and it blocks the friendly members from getting in. Hanzo's arrow will not be able to connect. Ooh. That's just so much damage. I saw the Divine Shield on Coffee, I was like, nice, and then I saw the 2 deaths, and I was like, not so nice for Baby on Board. So another 2 kills over to the side of BeefBois, who are going to be able to push and open things up through bottom lane, which actually is a really, really smart move from them. Leoric's down for the next 10 seconds. We have Uther down for the next 16, and you have an Impaler camp. You have the next Punisher in bottom lane. This is kind of everything that the members of BeefBois could want. And while that's happening, you have Sonya split pressing into top lane to try and equalize, or at least open things up here. I really like the way that they're playing this on the side of BeefBois. Can the members of Baby on Board turn things around and start to build the momentum back over to their favor? That's the big question that we have to ask here, and I guess how? 16 talent here will be here first for the side of BeefBois, so I guess the next question for Baby on Board is, how do you close that experience gap without stepping too far forward into lanes? You can even see Taraska's a little, not hesitant, but just like unsure. They're not going to play super far forward in the lane, because if they get dove, they lose their mech, they get blessed shield. That's just a fed death and more experience to the enemy team, and no 16s for your side. But with the 16s around the corner, it seems like Baby on Board might threaten to fight, or at least set up as a 5-stack in case a fight does break out. Leoric going to take a bit of damage. Dirk able to get a grenade out onto Cavalier once again. Sexy Exy going to take a little bit of sustained damage from Falstead, who's just trying to build those Lightning Rod bonus stacks. Currently at 19% out of these 75 available. But 16's here. Ooh, Crippling Hammer. I've actually, you know what? I've really, really enjoyed this as my level 16 for Falstead when I go into W build, because of the slow. You throw out a Hammerang, you hit them with the slow. You know, I mean, the damage, yes, is great, but I don't care so much about the damage as the slow, because that means I can keep someone inside that circle and continue to build up my dishonorable discharge from level 1. I really, really like that synergy. Let's see how, though, it works out for Coffee as the game does progress. We are getting into our third Punisher in just a moment. We should have that up and available soon. There it is. All right, D.Va to clear out things in top lane to allow their own Shaman camp to get some advantage up here. There is that periodic catapult pressure through top lane as well. Don't think... Oh, we actually do have one up here right now. I just want to quickly look. They're currently hitting for 228 into structures, 456. Or excuse me, 456 into structures and 228 into everything else. Right now, I was waiting to see if there was a step into Sexy Exy or even to Dirk, but no, not the case. It is going to be objective phase time. Sonya is showing in top lane to the members of our blue team. You can actually see through Kaiberry's vision. Sonya is rotating out. So right now, jumping back down to this objective phase, the members of Baby on Board have to make a quick play while the Sonya's gone. The Divine Shield's forced out onto Coffee. Big arrow from Mockery to set up a kill into this Joanna. Dirk getting very low. Kyle will be able to pop that Mecha Explosion. Big leap in from Tribulation to equalize the kills so far in this fight. It's 1-for-1. Tribulation getting low, but is able to back off right now. Kyle trying just to put some damage into Dirk. Tarask, excuse me, I keep jumping between. Tarask on this D.Va is going to be able to try and zone out the enemy team, deny some of their damage, and it looks like Baby on Board should be able to grab this next Punisher unless they hemorrhage a bunch of kills, but that's not the case. Oh, unfortunately, Tarask is going to get knocked out of their mech. I don't think they can get out of here. Big shots do go out, and they're not able to get the mech in time. I honestly think that Tarask had the full bar to get the mech, it just they didn't have the time for the actual summoning of the mech. That was really, really close, but with the 3-to-1 in kills, this is looking like the members of BeefBois are going to be able to clear things out through bottom lane. Sonya already rushing back to top to continue to split soak, and you can see how this experience is really starting to offset, especially with the 4-to-12 in kills. Let's go ahead and cycle through some of the other numbers, get an idea of what those look like, as we haven't looked at those since about level 9. Alright. Punisher goes down through bottom lane. Will not be able to confirm a fort. Sexy Xy is just going to be stepping in through mid to clear things out. And 20 talent here is a level away for the side of BeefBois. How does Baby on Board deal with this? That's always the question that I'm always considering, like, and always wondering. It's like, all right, you get to this late phase, you're obviously going to have to turtle up, but what's the game plan? Do you let some of the waves just naturally push into you and you lose like a little bit of experience? Like, do you let this kind of go so you don't have to step into this and win it? I'm never sure in these situations because you don't want to be too far forward because the enemy team can obviously pick you off. It doesn't look like Baby on Board wants to find a team fight before that 20 talent tier. Fourth objective will be mortar through mid. So it'll just be a slow burn from the side of Baby on Board. The only outlier I think I'm considering right now is, well, will they have 20s in time for the Mortar Punisher on the side of Baby on Board? It's still not announced, but it's not that long of a cooldown from when the Punisher goes down to when the next announcement is. Here's that 20 talent tier in favor for the side of BeefBois, and they're all rotating down, looking to maybe find a pick into Coffee or Taras. There's going to be a Lornado, which is actually double Lornado from the Decker Cane, with the more Nados coming out, trying to just force Taras into the enemy team. Doesn't work out as Diva's not even caught by the Scroll of Sealing. Meanwhile, through top lane, there was a little bit of pressure, I think. No, I think it was just the members of Baby on Board just trying to push in through top lane as a safe trio. While this duo in bottom lane continues to try and deny any sort of fort value, but this should go over to the side of BeefBois. Actually, Tarask will lose. Oh my god, the Raw Bless Shield and Chromie. Even though Coffee got the gust away, Chromie was still able to land one of those Dragon's Breath, and now Coffee getting bopped by one of those Mornados is going to... Big arrow from Mockery, but Coffee's stuck in the bush, or in the corner by Dirk, and that'll be another kill for the side of BeefBois. Very well played, controlling the map, controlling team fights, and even just controlling the enemy team when it comes to positioning. I mean, the positioning between the enemy team to kind of flank on both sides of this into Falstad, just really well played. Just reading the fact, like, all right, Falstad has no E. Let's go ahead and get a dive onto him because he can't barrel roll away. There's going to be the Entomb onto this Joanna who pops the Iron Skin. There's going to be no buried alive. It will be that Burning Despair for Leoric, as Sexy Xy is going to be fine for now, but this is a little risky for the side of Baby on Board to stay on this objective, or excuse me, to stay on this camp right now. Mockery trying to poke onto Sexy Xy, who does proc the Indestructible, that level 20 talent that we're seeing right there, and this is a camp steal from the side of BeefBois, not even losing Joanna. That is a, what, 2-minute cooldown that you lost? I think that's a trade. That's a trade that's very worthwhile for the side of BeefBois. All right, so the next shrine will be popping up here in roughly now. It's going to be Mortar Punisher as well. I looked at the wrong thing. I looked at the Mortar Punisher and I was like, wait a minute, no, I wanted to look at the timer. Anyways, the members of Baby on Board are going to be trying to get themselves back into this point. Cavalier can respawn into this objective. Watch that death timer. Big arrow from Hanzo to set up something into Sexy Xy. Unfortunately, no follow-up just yet. Coffee with the Flight and the Wind Tunnel. The Iron Skins popped, leaping from the Sonya. This is such a split fight right now as Dirk is just dropping damage into Coffee. Cavalier trying to steal some health off of Tribulation. Mech Explosion goes out and actually gets pushed around by the Mornado. Tribulation does go down to the Leoric, so it was a really good Entomb, and follow-up damage from Mockery, as we might have this fourth objective of the game going over to the side of Baby on Board. We'll have to see. Sexy Xy and friends are zoning Tarask away. The big shot can't even be used because the Mornado. Tarask sacrifices themselves. The fort in top lane will be sacrificed as well, but the later game Mortar Punisher, 18 minutes in, will be spawning in favor of Baby on Board, but that is a Diva down for the next 50 seconds, so Falstad does split and will be able to grab the clear in top lane. Does Falstad have Flight? Let's check. 24 seconds. I know they used it in the objective phase, but I honestly didn't know if 75 seconds had passed. Okay. Also, just skimming level 20, Sonya did go into the Ignore Pain. I was wondering what she went into. I didn't see Crater, obviously, but I was curious to see if she went into Composite Spear or if it was going to be Ignore Pain. Leoric will go down, can cheat death. Arrow from Hanzo once again. Unfortunately, there's going to be the follow-up kill into Kaiberries, so a Leoric death and an Uther death. But look, Uther has redemption. You can see that golden swirl around them, and I cannot believe it! BeefBois don't give a crap! They could have all chased onto Kaiberries and found that extra kill, but no. It seems like Sexy X and friends are going to rush through bottom lane and go for keep. This, I don't know. With Commandeer and Big Red Button, maybe? Nice Sonic Arrow from Mockery. They do have that Bullseye at level 20 for the stun, as well as the increased missile speed, I guess you can call it, for the Sonic Arrow itself. Dear Lord, some talents today, they're not coming to brain. Big Entomb from Leoric onto Sexy Exy and Durka, which might turn things around in this bottom lane engagement. Huge gust out from Falstead. Iron Skin's used by the Joanna, as well as that Indestructible. Coffee needs to get one auto. Cavalier actually finds it with the Drain Health. Trepidation, no, it's Tribulation is going to be leapt into that fight right there, but it turned into a 1v3. Sonya trying to spin to win. There is going to be that no escape value. Hanzo leaps over the side of the building. One arrow, follow up Bullseye to get the snipe. And counter kill, actually, we didn't actually see it. It's going to be from Albatox into Cavalier. Rupier guy getting hit with that stun from the Dragon Arrow. And Tarask splits off, pushes things out through mid lane. Camp to be grabbed through bottom between Coffee and friends. What's up, Nurse? How you doing? A good back and forth here in our game number 1. Holy crap. So I believe 5th Punisher of the game will be frozen through bottom lane. Could be a win condition for the side of BeefBois. Could be a win condition for the side of Baby on Board. Really just depends on how these are played. And actually, this is what I like right now, seeing the members of Baby on Board stepping into this. There's a Sonya down for 20. Joanna's down for 5. Tychus just came back from life. You can soft push this front gate, so that way if the Punisher goes in your favor, you're able to then push in onto a keep without... Oh, wow, this is maybe a little risky. Cavalier's trying to cheat death right now. Sonya's back in 7. I'm not the biggest fan of this if I was playing on the blue side, but that's why we're just casting. Camping through mid lane is going to open things up even further, and it will force a split from the enemy side, and that's what Baby on Board's asking for. They can see that the Chromie's in mid. Sonya's in mid as well, so maybe we see the step forward. Tarask is not going to get hit by the scroll ceiling. Coffee does. No Blush Shield to be used by Sexy Exy. Sonya clears mid, and the members of Baby on Board continue to hold this bottom lane. It is actually pretty even, with the lanes more so in favor for Baby on Board, especially through top lane. I know that we're just watching this catapult take out the wave, but there's going to be a matched catapult here in just a second, which, did it scale higher? Sorry, I want to look at this. We just have people retreating through the lanes. No, these are matched catapults right now, okay. I wasn't sure if maybe this one spawned like a wave or two earlier and this one maybe scaled up a little bit higher, but not the case. Camp potentially invaded, but we never actually checked the vision of our red team. This is what they're seeing right now. They can see that Baby on Board has a few members in this mid lane. Tarask is looking like they're rotating out. Camp does go over to the side of BeefBois. Quick rotation over to this camp. Is this too late? 10 seconds on the objective phase. Between 5 members, easily enough, they should be able to burn this down. Though I will say this, positionally, going into the objective phase, I would give this over to the side of BeefBois. They look like they are ready, and yeah, they even start this out. This is what, like, position is what I'm talking about, by the way. It's like you have Joanna already anchoring, you have Durka pulling minions to the side. Rupier guy's got a couple potions out as well. Albatox has been dumping in damage. Big Red Button comes out from the Commandeer Odin that was summoned just a second ago. Taras trying to find a flank with this Diva mech, which is just about ready to do the mecha explosion. You see that pink bar underneath. Hanzo gets a massive arrow into the enemy team, Falstead with the gust. There's going to be the time stop that actually locks down the Tychus, who's still getting blown into the Diva mech. The Sexy Exy gets hit with the Diva mech explosion, but she has the Iron Skin, or excuse me, the Indestructible. Not going to be enough. Falstead is traded out with the aggressive play that was made by them. Big Red Button continues to go out as Mockery's trying to just put a little pressure into this Tychus. Cavalier is looking to try and find a kill into Tribulation, but Cavalier goes down to the Big Red Button value. Tribulation living with a sliver of health. Uther goes down. Redemption, I believe, is off of cooldown as well. You can see that there's that golden swirl around Uther once again, but now this objective phase, Mockery trying to poke in, needs one more skeletal defender and is forced away. Mockery trying just to be able to come in here. Kyberries might sacrifice themselves and does manage to get the objective and doesn't sacrifice. Top lane, in the meantime, is going to be pressed up by this Shaman camp as well as the double catapults. So the Shaman camp definitely doing a lot for the side of BeefBois, but Baby on Board, not too far behind. It's just a Hanzo and an Uther, so yeah, I think this is the safe play. Cavalier won't be able to respawn in time, unfortunately. We'll be able to cheat a little bit of death off that Sonya. Could you imagine, like, you're about to hearth and just a skeletal king spawns next to you and just hits you with his mace and you die? It's like I was just at home. I was just at home. I could have just kept running. Either way, Punisher will go down through bottom lane, probably gonna get This much damage onto a keep? I really don't expect much more siege. Oh, thanks so much. Thanks so much for the compliment, nurse. Alrighty, we are 23 to 24 in our levels, 9 to 23 in kills, and just nearing 25 minutes. Let's go ahead and cycle through the other numbers, get an idea of what those look like. We haven't taken a peek at those in a little bit. Sorry, I thought I had a message for me, but no, it might just be... Okay. Yeah. Ooh, big. Oh my god, I can't believe the barrel roll denied the leap and the blessed shield from the side of BeefBois. I was about to say like big blessed shield, but no, that's not the case. It didn't connect, and the leap wasn't either able to connect onto the enemy team. Sexy Xy kind of forced out of this engagement. Tarask will lose their mech. That's going to be Cavalier going down on this Leoric, but into Wind Tunnel comes out from Coffee into this corridor. Rupert, your guy, is so very low. Does go down to the sustained damage from the Falstad. Hanzo found the kill into the Sonya just a second ago. It looks like Chromie and Joanna are able to counteract some of this with the kill into Falstad, but Joanna goes down themselves. Boost in from Tarask. Durkadurk is able to get a massive potion from the Deckard. Scatter Arrow just narrowly misses Durkadurk, and Mockery mounts up and disengages as with 3 kills on the opposing side for roughly 30 to 40 seconds. This is looking very good for Baby on board to be able to move through mid lane, confirm a keep, and maybe even jump into bottom and confirm the second. Actually, not even necessary. Hey, Stark, yeah, it is. Yep. This game was from 3/9/2021. I've wanted to cast a Baby on board game for a while, so I just went through all the games and I was like, this one wasn't casted, let's go with it. I have no idea the outcome. I have a technique to avoid spoilers on the NGS website. And it's by going to the match page and hitting end and seeing if it was casted. And if it's not, then I have to kind of horse blind myself without looking at the outcomes or anything like that. But I do kind of see. Ektar, wait, does Ektar work on the NGS stuff? Do you still do NGS stuff, Ektar? I have a recommendation from chat. There should be a spoiler button on the NGS site, so you could download the maps, but not see the outcomes. Even for the match page. Anyways, how's it going, Kaimo? The outcome, one team wins. That is very true. That is very, very true. Bob with the drafts again, I see. Oh, no. 3rd of September? Oh, did I say September? Am I dumb? I'm sorry. March. Or it was 3/9. Oh, right. Oh, I see what you're doing, Stark. Okay. All right. Yes, okay. Because in Britain, 3/9 would be, yes, okay. All right, let's move on. I'm being trolled by my chat. Is it even possible to get a tie in HOTS? I mean, if everyone DCs from the lobby at once, sure. No, because then the bots would actually take over and someone would win eventually. Thank you. I wasn't sure if it was actually suggested before. Leaping from the Sonya will connect onto a few members. Ironskin, Undestructibles popped by the Joanna are actually just instantly procced because she dropped to 0 health or at least 1 HP. This is such a split fight that's taking place right now. I'm going to pull away the Talon's Tribulation. It's fighting Coffee on the bottom of our map, but of our screen, and that will be a kill over for Coffee. Tychus does go down as well, and the Shrine activates. You know, if we were in bronze, we should go get this. You can't end right now. There's no way you could end. There's no way. It's only a Deckard, Chromie, and Joanna. And you have insane siege. No. Go get the objective. Give them time to respawn. Big entomb out from Cavalier, setting up a potential kill into Sexy Xy. A lot of good sustained damage out from Coffee. Sexy Xy getting low. They don't have that indestructible available. It's a 2-minute cooldown, and we saw it maybe 30 seconds ago. The core is being shredded, and that'll be game number 1 over to the side of Baby on board. GG, well played. Everyone gets a loss if everyone DC'd. That's true. Not like this. Camps. Yes, let's get camps. Have I ever casted a 10-bot match? Yes, I have, actually. I can't say for what, but there was something I did for a tech company where I was doing some, I guess you could say, R&D for them as a friend, and I utilized a 10-match bot match because I didn't want, like, I had to do something and I couldn't tell people about it, so I recorded something off a stream and I just used that as an example, and they absolutely loved it because of what I did. I don't know if I'm allowed to talk to. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about it. It's the product's already been released and everything like that. I just don't know if I'm allowed to say like the company and all that because I just don't know. But I've actually used bot matches for doing stuff like that. I use bot matches actually all the time to test my OBS and stuff like that. Because there's a setting in OBS where you can make your you can basically do an entire stream without actually streaming, so it does like stress tests and everything. So I would go into like bot matches and I would just like shake the camera around. Like I would change a bunch of OBS settings and then I'd like shake the camera around to see if I got any like fragmentation or if I had any sort of like my render frame went up by a bunch. Like if I went from like 0.9 milliseconds to like 11 milliseconds or something like that, then I'd be like, okay, maybe we gotta lower some settings. But yeah. Whew. That was a good game one. That was a good game one. 65 stacks on the Falstad, by the way. 65 stacks on the Falstad. In the Rhythm for the Tychus had 154 stacks. So 154 times 0.03. And then divided by 60. Let's get into our next game. Yeah, Bandit's hanging out. He's sleepy today, yeah. He will, I will say this, I'll give you a little heads up. He's probably gonna disappear here and there. My family is visiting and he loves them way more than us. All right, second map. Let's get this loaded up and we can hang out for a couple minutes. As I said, ooh, actually, maybe we should be fine. As I said, like, I play Storm League with a bunch of friends in roughly like 45 minutes. Why, hello. All right, we can chat for a little bit here. Hey, Pat, what's up, bud? Or maybe he loves those treats that they secretly give him. No, I've had to curb them from that. My mom asks me all the time. She's like, can I give him a treat? I'm like, not yet. A little bit later. Because we'll come back from a walk and she'd be like, he was very good on the walk. And I'm like, yeah, he was, but we can't give it. Because what he does is he'll start associating it. Like, we'll go on a walk together, the two of us, the three of us, whatever, and or the 3 or 4 of us. And he's just like, we'll get back in. He just stands in the kitchen. And I'm just like, no, because that's where some of the extra treats are. So I'm like, no, we have to disassociate these two. So like, it'd be like, we'll get back from a walk. And I'll be like, all right, like half an hour later, you can give him a treat because he forgets. But yes, exactly, Iron. Why, hello. I do need to get more water very soon. This is my like 3rd one of these today. So, no, this is my 2nd. So this will be 64 ounces. And then we'll get more. She can't give him a treat until chat redeems one. Yeah, chat, you don't get to see any of the treats, just my mom gets to give Bandit treats later today, after stream, when off stream. How's everyone's Tuesday going? Thanks for hanging out. Ready. Oh. I gotta check Slack really quickly, and then we'll get into our next game. All right. There you go. I know you can't see the drafts just yet, so let me go ahead and get on into game. We are going to be heading into the map known as Infernal Shrines. No, we were just there. We're going to go to Battlefield of Eternity. Here's your draft. Make your predictions based off the draft. And as I always like to say, these games were previously, they were already played. These are replay games. So if you know the outcome, please do not spoil it in chat. Do not think you're being cute either. If you're like, ha ha ha, I wonder who could win. Like if you don't be cheeky. Don't think you're being cheeky. All right. Which team wins? No cheating. Yeah, there you go. No look. No look. It makes me physically nervous that I'm just looking at I'm just like waiting for someone to just be like, I Googled it. It's like, all right, cool, dude. Then we won't do predictions anymore. At least for these games, if that's the case. Either way, let's go ahead and get on into game. I think we've had 60 seconds pass. Yeah, we got enough time. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and get on into it. On the left-hand side, we have the members of Baby on board, who are actually up 1 in this best-of-3 series. On this side, we have Mockery on the Sylvanas. Kyberries will be on the Rhaegar. Hogger to be played by Tarask. We have got Coffee on the Karazim and Cavalier on the Blaze. For the right-hand side, we have the members of BeefBois. We have Tribulation on the Sonya. Albatox will be on the Tychus. Sexy Exy on the Garrosh. Hanzo to be played by Smork Killer, so a roster swap it looks like. And then we have Root Beer Guy on that Uther. All right, let's go ahead and get on into our engagement. Little Wolf, where were you? Probably, I'm going to guess an observer maybe? Who knows? Just wait patiently. Just everyone's waiting for waves. I think, so the big thing right now is the members of BeefBois are waiting to see where Sylvanas shows because they're afraid of the quote-unquote Sylvanas cheese, where she basically can rush a tower with a few members of the friendly team and burn that down. That won't be the case of BeefBois, of Baby on board. BeefBois are actually going to recognize the setup right now and will just rotate the majority of their team to bottom lane. Sonya still sticks in top lane. Coffee hasn't shown in this top lane engagement just yet, or even really on the map. So I think Tribulation is respecting that up until that spear goes in, and you can even see the staggering blows. Tribulation going to try and spin to win through a little bit of that damage they took, but dear lord, was that a big dive out from Tarask and Coffee, and they're still showing up here, so it's looking like it's going to be a 2-3 from the side of Baby on board, which is risky though, because now you have Garrosh who's able to kind of walk into the enemy team. Uther finds the follow-up stun, and that'll be first blood over the side of BeefBois. Moving into top lane, I was looking at the minimap. I was like, ooh, what do we got here? So it's also, by the way, it's gonna be Iron Fist Karazim, so extra damage on that 4th attack, if I'm not mistaken. 3rd attack, every 3rd basic attack is going to be increased by how much actually? 110 bonus damage and gives 25 increased movement speed for 2.5 seconds. 2 bruiser, 2 heals, hyper carry. 2 bruiser, 2 heals? No, I'm just kidding. Two bruisers, 2 heals, hyper carry. I mean, it sometimes works. I've seen it like in in-houses. I feel like I've seen it a lot in in-houses. Like I've seen this kind of setup as well as I've seen a lot of triple bruiser, like not even main tank, like triple bruiser, healer, and a hyper carry. So like they throw in like a Vala or a Cassia. That's actually been pretty hot as of late too. Like, what was it? Like there was, I want to say there was like an Artanis, Sonya, and a Blaze or Leoric game. And then it was, and this, I think it was like a 2-lane map. I think it was like Hadamur or something like that. Maybe even Battlefield? Because there's like, here's the thing, like not a lot of people, but there's the motif of typically Battlefield, like, oh, it's Battlefield of Eternity, I need to draft for the objective phase. But if you draft a team fight and kill the enemy team consistently, you can then go back and take the objective phase at your own time. Obviously, early game death timers are going to be a factor in all this consideration, but like, there's always that thing to consider as well. It's like, you don't have to just draft for the objective phase. You can draft for team fighting during the objective phase, win that, and then rotate out, grab the objective, and win through that way. So it's my whole point is there's not one way to play this map, and I feel like it's very, that's the case. Like, I feel like that's, a lot of people look at this map and they go, oh, you gotta pick up Jimmy, you gotta pick up Hanzo, you gotta get a Cassie, you gotta get a Lunar, you gotta get someone to race the Immortal for your team. Which, yeah, that's absolutely true, but I don't think it is the only way to play the map, is kind of where I'm getting at right now, is that will be a toss onto Cav. Sexy Exy just steps into the bush. Cavalier is stepping very far into this enemy team. It is a Garrosh, and I wonder if maybe Cavalier knew that toss had been used recently. It's just very aggressive. Or you know what it was? It was probably Blaze trying to force the toss out from Garrosh to be able to back off, and then the enemy team just re-engages. Not sure. Not 100% sure, but either way, it is going to be a fairly close Immortal phase. We're looking at, what, roughly 400 health difference between these two, between Belith and Alarian. So now, let's go ahead and see what happens during our pure race phase. Cavalier actually comes over to the right-hand side to zone out the enemy team, or at least slow them down, but this seems a little on the side of risky when it comes to... does it pay off? It does. Cavalier going down does pay off with the first Immortal going over to the side of Baby on board, but was it worth it? That's my big question, because you don't have your main tank, per se, in the lane to push, and we've seen that this pick composition with the Garrosh into the Uther stun has been devastating. Back to back to back. Either way. Larian moves into bottom lane. We'll be trying to siege in through here, but Smork Killer should be able to kind of burn through this with these arrows fairly quickly. Oh my god, dear lord. This Immortal God, I think this is the least value I've seen in Immortal. I'm sorry, that is not a lot of value from a first Immortal in the game, but either way, Hogger's going to be forcing back Tribulation through top lane, and a lot of members of Baby on Board rotate up here to try and maybe equalize or even open things up, since they didn't get much value out of that Immortal phase through bottom lane. And right now it's working out pretty good, but it's going to be a race from both sides. I would say that the race obviously is going to be in favor for the side of Baby on Board with that empowerment of Mockery's Sylvanas, as well as Coffee punching in consistently. But right now, Sexy Exceed is anchoring shots. This should be enough siege value between the 4 members down here to be able to match. But now Baby on Board is like, all right, we'll step it up further. Who's going to hearth? And it looks like now the members of BeefBois will be hearthing out. Game 1, was that main tank Leoric? Yes, it was. It was main tank Leoric in game number 1 with a offlane Diva, and then a Hanzo, Uther, and Falstad for the side of Baby on Board. Yeah, bottom lane. A lot of pings coming down from Baby on Board, not signifying, but showing that they want to invade and fight. I think it's they want to fight over this camp. I keep calling every camp objective phase because I'm thinking of Alterac Pass. Sexy Exy is going to be getting low here. Hogger Hog Wild's right into the enemy team, and there's a wonderful cleanse from Uther onto Sexy Exy. Tarask needs to back off from Smork Killer. Smork Killer actually might be able to use the sidewall to be able to jump over, but that's a wonderful Sonic Arrow that, excuse me, dear lord. Scatter Arrow. I could not think of it for a second. From the Hanzo. Smart Killer's had really good angles and actually will finish out that level 1 questing talent in 6 minutes. And now we see our second objective phase of the game, if I'm not mistaken, going over, at least at the start, to the side of BeefBois. But it's just the start. This is what I'm waiting for. It's like, all right. The race so far from BeefBois is actually really good here between the Hanzo and the Tychus, as well as that Sonya. The Immortals, though, I think they go into defensive positioning here. No, it's going to be north-south again. All right, well, this is race potential for both sides, and the team fight is going to break out as Cavalier will not be able to connect with the Jet Propulsion. Sexy Exy getting very low. Coffee taking quite a bit of damage. Will be able to get a heal into the friendly teams themselves. Sexy Exy getting low, still has to walk out of this. 34 armor on that Garrosh as well. Seems like the members of BeefBois will hang around this mid lane for a hot second, grab a regeneration globe, as well as a little bit of experience, but Cavalier is going to get tossed and ripped away from their friendly team, and that will be a kill in favor for the side of BeefBois. And now this Immortal phase race will easily be done by the side of BeefBois. That'll be their first Immortal, if I'm not mistaken, yes. And that'll go into top lane. The reason we know it's top lane is because the bottom lane already has the fort and structured damage into it. Same would be said, like, if the side of Baby on Board got this Immortal, it would go into bottom lane if it was Belith, because bottom lane is the more well-defended lane. But Alarian. But right now, Belith will be joining the members of BeefBois through top lane. 10 talent here on both sides. What are we going to get? Pretty standards across the board. The only thing I guess I could say is it's abnormal, but really isn't at all at this point with the way that Uther's been played is the Divine Storm, but it makes sense. I mean, you have just big AoE lockdown. Smart Killer and Albatox can get some value off of that, but Sexy Exy gets low. Huge arrow from Hanzo, Hortipult into the backline. Staggering blow forces Sexy Exy into the enemy team, but it's not really working out for Baby on Board as they're going to lose 3 and no one, 4 actually, and no one on the side of BeefBois will fall. Sexy Exy, I think, was down to about 70 HP. Very well played from Root Beer Guy. I actually got to say, Root Beer Guy was probably a big factor in the reason that Garrosh stayed alive right there. Well played. Very well played from the side of BeefBois as they're going to continue to push in through this top lane. Day, Lupus, how you doing, friends? Tribulation does have the Wrath of Berserker up. You can see that glow around her swords right now. Uther does finish out their level 1 quest. Cavalier gets displaced from the friendly team and will go down. Coffee going to be able to get a little bit of healing. That Wave of Light, sorry, it was finished up by the Uther. Taras got knocked by the Immortal. Does get hit by the Groundbreaker of Sexy Exy, which they only need 3 more stacks on, but that's a keep through top lane and a quick rotation to the... Nope. I was going to say a quick rotation to the Bruiser camp, but not the case. So this will be just down to bottom lane, continue to soak and look for 13s. Hey Ta, hey Helahep. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, friends. I hope you're all well today on this Tuesday. Thanks for joining me for some NGS, and then we're gonna get into Storm League later. I may or may not have accidentally got myself back into bronze. May or may not. Accidentally done it to myself. It's ooh, sexy Exy almost catching. So yes. My answer to you is this. How about that? I think that's good, right? Camp to be grabbed by the members of BeefBois. We do have the camp pushing out in top lane for the side of Baby on board. Are BeefBois gonna force this bottom lane fort? Or keep front gate? I'm waiting to see if Tychus pops Commandeer out, and that's what I'm watching Albatox right now. I'm watching that cooldown, and I'm watching Albatox, but with the wave slowly kind of being poked at, I don't think they go. Oh wait, toss on to Cavalier. Bunker does come out from the Blaze. Just, oh my god, Self-Cleanse will be out onto Sexy Exy. The Indomitable will be used. Smork Killer, I think, got a cleanse out from Uther as well. Huge arrow from Smork Killer to be able to slow down the enemy team's aggression, as Sexy Exy will take the enemy team on a bit of an adventure to try and stall out deaths, but unfortunately Uther still goes down. No 20 talent tier, so no redemption. Meanwhile, Sonya is over here on the right-hand side grabbing this camp, if she's able to do this quick enough. I'm waiting to see really quickly. No, Hogger and friends are going straight for the objective. Okay, so there's no concern over the invade onto the camp. That's all. I don't know what you're talking about, Be Crazy. I don't know what you're talking about. Well, we'll fix it. We'll fix it later on today. I promise. My apologies. I was looking at the top lane being cleared by Hogger because I was just curious as to how Hogger was clearing things out, and the Blaze does get picked off. This is the kind of composition we were talking about at the start from the side of BeefBois. It's just, and it's not just the Garrosh. Like, as long as you have two forms of CC, I feel you can really just burn someone down between the damage that's available. Like, let's say Garrosh isn't there, Sonya's Spear, follow up Righteous Hammer. If Sonya's not there, you have the toss Warlord's Challenge, then you have the Righteous Hammer. There's so much follow-up. Also, the scatter arrows from Smart Killer really getting a ton of value for the friendly team, especially in these corridors. Big arrow comes out from them. That Dragon Strike setting up the kill into the Hogger, trading out the Uther. Uther does have Ghost Heals for a few more seconds. As Rhaegar's going to be chased, Albatox dashes forward to get the last auto into them. Sexy Exy gets hit by the Jet Propulsion from Blaze, pops the Indomitable. Coffee getting very low, is not hit by the Spear from Sonya. Sonya goes down, so does Karazim. Sylvanas gets picked off. Now Cavalier's the only one left on the friendly side to defend. Albatox and friends want to get away from this bunker damage. Cavalier trying to make the YouTube plays, but the 1v3 will not go over in their favor, and that'll be all 5 members of Baby on board going down. The next Immortal phase, the third one of the game if I'm not mistaken, will go over to the side of the BeefBois. What a fight. Alrighty. 15 to 16 in our levels, 5 to 15 in kills. Let us see if the members of Baby on board can defend against this Immortal through bottom lane. We noted earlier that there was a little bit of that pressure, and I was, this is when I was sitting here saying, when is the Commandeer Odin coming out? That was held, and it is going to be actually up and available now. But I think at that point, Commandeer Odin, 100 seconds, it might be nearing. It might be one of those situations where, like, Commandeer obviously could have been used during the objective phase, so holding it for this bottom lane siege was, or utilizing it during that bottom lane siege a few minutes ago was not necessary. And I agree with this, actually. Albatox with the higher IQ in this situation. Tribulation going to be coming in here to join in the friendly team to try and potentially end the game here. This is a very healthy Immortal. Belth still has their shielding, which means they move, and they attack from range. You can tell, one, by the fact that they have a shield, and two, that little red glow. Big Divine Storm out from the Uther to set up a kill, not really a kill, but just chain CC, followed up by Smart Killer with that Dragon Arrow. Right now, the core is falling rapidly. The Immortal's still very healthy. Quite a few members. Oh, Cavalier's going to go down. That's going to be a pick onto Coffee as well. Kyberry's trying to back off right now. Does get into wolf form. Is able to kind of dash away, get a self-healing onto themselves, but this is looking like the members of BeefBois will equalize in our best of 3 and take us to that game number 3. GG. Well played. Oh, boy. Alrighty, the BeefBois have won. randomly picking Blaze. I'm sure they had a reason for it. I'm sure they had a composition plan in mind. I wouldn't say it was no reason. Alrighty. Whew. Let's go ahead and get into our third game. Oops. That's what I need to do. By the way, tomorrow we'll be casting, Thursday we'll be casting, Friday will be Doom Eternal and Loop Hero, Saturday, Sunday we'll be casting over on the Heroes Hearth channel. Just a heads up for all of you. Let's go ahead and grab the last map. Alright, replay file, grab it. Let's go. Got about 23 minutes until we start Storm Leaguing, so we'll get to Storm League after this game. I'm just going to jump into it immediately, pretty much. So let's get a prediction going. And we'll see what happens. I'll show you the draft in just a second, don't worry. Okie dokie. All right, let's get into this. While you look at the draft, while you do predictions, I'm going to quickly grab some water, so don't go anywhere. Get your predictions in. I'll be right back. Oh, wait, we have no music. It's awkwardly quiet. It's awkwardly quiet. Don't need a draft to make predictions. Wow, interesting. All right, here's some music really quickly. I'm going to run and grab some water. It'll be like not even a minute. Just I need to grab more water before this game. Okay, did we get our predictions in? Oh, sorry about that. Non-Falstad betters. Alrighty, everybody, we good to go? We can listen to more of that in just a minute. Alrighty, ooh, some big predictions to be made here. Okie dokie. Alright, voting with your hearts. Let's go ahead and get on into our final game in this best of 3. On the left hand, oh, nope, buttons, come on, Chris. Don't mind me, just doing a caster thing. There we go, on the left hand side, we have the members of Baby on board. Coffee is going to be on the Falstad. Tarask will be on the Hogger. Kyberries is on that. Lily, Mockery on the Sylvanas, and Cavalier on that Tyrael. For the right-hand side, we have the members of BeefBois. We have an AFK Uther in the Hall of Storms. That's it. You're not Root Beer Guy, you're just an AFK Uther. No, Root Beer Guy on the Uther. We've got Albatox on the Li Ming, Sexy Exy on the Garrosh, Smork Killer on the Hanzo, and Tribulation on the Urel. Let's check out our level 1s and see what our first engagement will be looking like. You know me, just that NA production real quick. Just had to remind you where your production's coming from on the stream. I want my points back after AFK Uther. Nice. I just I'll do that all, whenever we load into a game, if someone's still in the Hall of Storms, it's just like, oh, they're AFK. Obviously, a little bit of back and forth bopping in this mid lane, but no one really gonna get poked down too much just yet. The lane technically is won over by the side of Baby on board. Tribulation is hanging out in this bottom lane, and I was going to say, I don't think Tarask saw... No, the minion wave was giving enough vision for that. Do want to note that we are going to be on W build Falstad, so that's going to be keeping those lightning rod stacks on top of a hero, which is going to be a little difficult, in my opinion, against an Uther as well as a Garrosh. You really don't want to be sitting anywhere near these heroes. There's a stun from Uther, there's a toss from Garrosh, there's Warlord's Challenge. Li Ming could be a good target, but she can blink, she can be annoying. I mean... Actually, honestly, Li Ming's probably the best person to be stacking off of because she wants to play from range, and being on top of her... Okay, verbiage. being in very close proximity to Li Ming's character model, there you go, it kind of denies her some of her values. So we'll see if that'll be the case. Another good option would be maybe even to the Hanzo, but even then Hanzo can play off of the walls with scatter arrows and such. Also has a lot of mobility. But either way, we'll continue into this game and see how it works out lightning rod bonus stack wise. I believe game number 1, Infernal Shrines, Coffee got up to like 63 stacks towards the end of that game. So really, really high stacking, and it's a maximum of 75% you can build off of that. And there's no reward for the 75. It's just scaling over time. You do have the baseline. If you get a kill, it does reset the ability, which is very, very nice. Coffee may get caught out in this top lane. Is there a barrel roll available? Throws the hammering backwards, trying to take the enemy team on a bit of an adventure. Doesn't manage to get the disengage or the juke. And right now, Kaiberry's with the save of the day. I was ready to call that a kill for the members of BeefBois, but no. Coffee lives, and we'll be able to have another espresso another day. How did Falstad get out of WoW? He died, right? Isn't that the Nexus? Everyone here's died. Lily's dead. Hanzo's dead. Li Ming's dead. Right? I like I actually for a little bit when Heroes first came out, I thought that was like the motif. It was like dead people within the universes. But then I was like, wait a minute, Hanzo's alive in Overwatch. there's probably better examples than that. Like probably like Lily. Like I don't think Lily died in Mista Pandaria. I'm assuming he's not dead, nor is Lily. Exactly, Ashen. Yeah. As far as we know, you never know. Those pesky Blizz developers could just kill everyone in a fell swoop. Cavalier is going to jump onto the support camp right now. Sexy Exy is able to see this. I can actually jump onto the vision of our red team really quickly, just kind of seeing how they're setting up in this. Look at Tribulation trying to come into the backline, looking for that Righteous Hammer flank. Really good setup into Coffee, not able to solidify a kill with that. But getting Coffee low, that's the big thing, is forcing the Falstad out, forcing them to tap well. This objective, not objective, well, I guess you could consider it objective for some of these teams, is going to be worked on still by the side of Baby on board. Sexy Exy steps onto the point, tosses Tyrael away. Yrel comes into the backline. Hogger's going to hog wild onto the point to try and just keep some sustained damage against the enemy team. Tribulation taking a lot themselves will go down. Root Beer guy getting very low. Tyrael gets traded out. The objective, dear lord. The camp will go over to the side of Baby on board, and this is the first objective that has been up for almost a minute now, is going to be 29% for the side of BeefBois, and they will jump back on us. No, Smart Killer going into bottom lane to soak up this massive wave that has come down here. They used to be a metric predicting new heroes, though. Recent deaths in their own universe came to hot soon. Really? Now, not sure how well it actually. I feel like you could make an argument for that. I feel like that is viable in a sense. I think there's like maybe more so in like WoW lore. I don't know that lore, so that's the one that I'm just like, I feel like they'd pull from there. Maybe even Diablo. Something like that. Either way, big fight over the fortification camp in this bottom lane. Coffee does fly down over here at 7-7 in levels as the Hogger will get picked off. Tarask will be out for the next 17 seconds. Sexy Exy getting very low, has to cycle out, so Tribulation jumps in with a Righteous Hammer. This is one of the fortification camps used to pick up another fortification camp. I absolutely love the idea of that right there. It's just gotta use one camp to get another, as Cavalier is gonna get tossed away. But look at this. Do you get triple value? It's gonna be double value onto the enemy team for cooldown reduction on death timer. You get 10% off your death timer per enemy hero hit from your trait, as Sylvanas continues to dump damage backwards. Mockery just trying to dismount and push back the enemy team a little bit when it comes to damage. And we have our first objective still being contested right now, 5 minutes and 30 seconds in. I do want to note that there are quite a few questing talents on the right-hand side, and a few of them are very close to being done. Hanzo, 5 out of the 20 stacks necessary for that level 1 simple geometry. We have the Warbreaker for Garrosh needing 1 more stack. We have 37 out of, I believe, 60 stacks, yes, for the Wave of Light on that Uther. And just to note, Coffee with the Dishonorable Discharge at level 1 is going to be at 4 stacks out of the possible 75. There's no reward at the 75 mark, it's just that's where it caps out at. 90% and rising. Tyrael does put their foot onto the point. I guess you could say floats out their way onto the point. There's going to be that level 1 quest from Sexy Exy done. Baby on board looking to force back the enemy team on this point. A little bit of poke from Albatrox here and there, not connecting. Sexy Exy looking to just throw someone out of position. Doesn't look like they're able to find it just yet. Taras taking a lot of damage, has to back off. So is Cavalier Guest, and that will be Sexy Exy going down. Traded for the Tyrael. Tyrael trying to find someone to explode on to get cooldown reduction on their death timer, but Li Ming is popping off right now with the help of Hanzo, finding a triple kill between the two of them. Only losing their Garrosh. This is looking really good for the side of BeefBois, who now grab themselves a Triglav Protector. Well, Murky is one of them. I mean, Murky died, and then respawned, and then died. Even though Hogger should have been first, though. How many times has Hogger died in, WoW? Has he died a bunch? Or is it because he's like a raid boss or something? Terralyn, wow, thank you for the follow. Alright, we have the objective phase doing pretty much our standard rotation between lanes. He is going to be able to get the front wall of this top lane down, as well as the well on top of that, which is going to be a great way to deny sustained damage and sustained team fighting over the next objective phase that is going to be in the top lane, control point B. This objective still sieging and getting quite a bit of value for the side of this red team. The BeefBois will back off, though, getting a bit of damage into the fort. And did they open up mid? Oops, sorry, didn't pan enough. Yeah, they definitely open up mid. Wow. A lot of value from this first objective phase, in my opinion. And this will just be Hanzo left. They're just gonna let it go. It's gonna devalue over time enough to the point where it explodes, apparently. He is a mob in the starting area in Stormwind. He was a quest mob for the longest time. The boss is Dungeon later. Got it. I understand now. Thank you. Alrighty, support camp will be fought over. Mind control out from Mockery. There's going to be a gust from Coffee to try and force back the enemy team. A lot of CC going out onto Sexy Exy, but the jugs come out from Lily, not enough to keep Coffee alive. Kyber is trying to do their best. That's gonna be the divine. Oh no, excuse me. That was Sanctification coming out from the Tyrael. I was like, wait a minute, that's not the right side with the divine shield. And there will be a triple kill for the side of BeefBois, trying to make it a quad kill with the damage out from Albatrox. I want to also look really quickly. It's actually Divine Storm from the Uther, so there wasn't even the Divine Shield to throw out to any friendly members, but with the amount of kills they've had on the side of BeefBois, this is a solid level lead, as well as a talent tier on top of that. And Root Beer Guy trying to force this wave up, and I don't disagree with this whatsoever. If you're able to get the fort down before the objective B phase, your engagement range and your aggression range is so very far. You can chase this enemy team all the way down to pretty much the keep front gate area. Usually you don't want to dive too far underneath it, but with the Garrosh, it's very, very possible. That self-armor is really great for Garrosh to be able to just anchor underneath tower shots and eat one or two without taking much, if any, damage. You can see right now, though, Baby on board. I wouldn't say playing it super safe, but just making sure the waves crash into them. Cavalier utilizing some of their abilities to check on this camp itself and just poke here and there. Taras will start working on this camp. Gonna line up that Hog Wild and should be able to get it on actually everybody. I like that. It's gonna be able to clear out this camp without much problem. One auto still goes. And ooh, Baby on board gonna hold the... I don't know why I keep on saying objective for the camps. We'll be holding that camp over for now. Not gonna be grabbing it immediately. Another big Divine Storm. Great cleanse out from Root Beer Guy. And the camp is gonna be stolen away. Hanzo's arrow is gonna T-Tours by the members of Baby on board. And Tribulation is going to just back off. False says level 1 W isn't banned anymore. No, it hasn't been banned for quite some time. It was banned for like maybe the first week or two. I think it was like a week and a half before it got fixed very quickly. But it was basically stacking off of anything and everything. Like I think the patch was on like a Tuesday, and I think they fixed it on a Friday or something like that. Or no, did they fix it the next week and then it broke the game, then they had to revert it, then like repatch it? There's something weird with that. There was something crazy. It's still banned again? Wait, what? Wait, what? When did it re-get banned? What? Wait, did it get rebanned? I haven't heard anything from in-houses. Granted, I haven't seen any W build false stats in in-houses. Wait, when the hell did it get banned again? What in the hell? Huh? Well, yeah, no, I see it's rebanned, but like, why? What happened? We didn't get another patch? It's still buggy? Oh, that's annoying. That's very annoying. Okay. Okie dokie. I will, I'm gonna bring that up in my meeting tomorrow. Because, that's no good. That's also really disappointing. That's super disappointing. Didn't really, yeah, no, this is from the 9th of, March. This is from a while ago. I was just grabbing a game that hadn't been cast. Cavalier's gonna get scattered out in the bush right now. Objective phase, second one of the game, will go over for now to the side of BeefBois. This is going to be Tarask working through the bottom lane, trying to just split things up and open up the map a little bit further for their friendly side, as well as potentially set up for control point C to be a win condition for the side of Baby on Board. With 16 talent tier already here, you can see that Baby on Board doesn't really want to step into this. And this wave won't give them... is not going to give them the 16 talent tier they're looking for. It's going to get them close, but it's not going to be enough, and so you can actually see Cavalier going in, trying to harass a little bit right now, but was it worth a Divine Storm? So much CC onto Cavalier, and they're not even able to get the Sanctification out in time. One explosion on a Sexy Exy will reduce that death timer by 10%, but either way, Objective phase should go over to the side of BeefBois. Yeah, this was when it stacked on anything. Bug got fixed before they discovered a slow duration bug. Okay. I didn't know that the slow... I knew about the stacked off of anything, and that's why I was really confused. I was like, we didn't get another patch. What happened? I guess we just discovered that the talent... So Falstad is getting the treatment of Samuro. He's just getting new features. He's getting new features. Got it, Blizzard. Cool. So it's like, not only do we have the standardized talents, but we have secret talents in the game now, too. Alrighty, bottom lane is being opened up by the side of BeefBois as they're trying to set up their own win condition through bottom lane for control point C. This is pretty standard, I would say, right now. During CCL, we saw a lot of control point A and B going straight to control point C area to just open that up, because as Epic Player and many others would note in my chat, it's a really good way to try and set up your win condition for the late game. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you look at it, we won't be seeing Volskaya Foundry in Season 2 of CCL. It was voted out, and Alterac Pass is voted in. I'm excited to watch those games and see what these players go for. But either way, Yrel is going to be pressing up top lane a little bit, trying just to make Hogger's life a little bit more difficult. I think just trying to offer some split pressure during this objective phase to maybe force the enemy team up, but the Trigger Protector is going to try and get a little bit of poke onto this structure. Sexy Exy, do they pop the Indomitable? Not even really needed here, and that is a clean disengage. Do they even have the Indomitable? Yeah. I was wondering, I was like, well, maybe they... Because I've seen a lot of Garrosh, like, the moment they come out of the Triglav, they pop that Indomitable as well, just to make sure that they're not CC'd after that that happens, but that's a big toss on the Kyberries. The follow-up stun, the Divine Storm, the leap from Yrel, and that is a dead Lily. Cavalier trying to jump onto the point to harass the enemy team is going to get shredded as well, and that'll be a second kill for the side of BeefBois. Righteous Hammer, excuse me. Staggering Blow will knock back the Yrel, but Falstad does go down to the Scatter and Burst of Hanzo, and that'll be a triple kill for the side of BeefBois. Warhead, Junction, or Riot, you get into CCL, become one of the players, and vote for the maps. That's my only way I can say you can do it. Like, I don't get to vote on the maps. I don't think the orgs I think it was just purely the players were the ones who voted on the maps. 20 talents here will be here for the side of BeefBois, who are going to just continue to siege in through bottom lane, trying to open this up and set themselves up for a win condition. This is what I discussed earlier, and this is a big factor on this map. When you have advantages like this, there's no point in going and getting a camp. There's no point in going back and getting this camp right now. What Tarask is doing, this is great for their team because they're behind. They had no one available, and the enemy team was showing as 5 in the bottom lane. So Tarask on the side of Baby on Board was like, all right, I can see the enemy team. If they leave that lane, I can leave this camp, but I can easily grab it because of my Hog Wild and burn through that and offer some off-lane pressure, giving us, the members of Baby on Board, a bit of breathing room getting into this later half of the game. Still 2 levels need to be found by our blue team. Until then, I wouldn't expect them to play too aggressive. Falstad, to note, is going to be at 20 out of these 75 stacks available. We currently have the Wave of Light, the Warbringer, the Simple Geometry, all 3 of those on the right-hand side for BeefBois completed. I believe the Hanzo finished out their stacks at like 6 minutes or something, so really, really good pacing from them. And right now, it's kind of this lull in the game. It seems like the members of BeefBois are fine with just waiting for the next objective phase, and we'll kind of just push out the lanes safely and group up a little bit here and there. Riot it is then? All right, yeah. I would tell you, I would say at someone on Twitter, but I don't want anyone to get harassed about it. There was a, you know, I think like Blackheart's Blade was on the list, and I was like, please, somebody vote for it. Just vote, just like someone just waste one vote for me. That's all I asked for. Hogger still pushing out the bottom lane, which is shown to the members of our red team. BeefBois know this, so they can continue to kind of press onto this top lane a little bit and get this off lane pressure with these consistent catapults if the keep does go down. But right now, oh wait, oh great cleanse out from Kaiberries to be able to deny the toss onto Coffee. With the wave though coming back in, the members of BeefBois do want to confirm this keep through the top lane. Taraska's going to be on the point for now. Actually no, Taraska actually hearths out completely just to be able to join into the friendly team. Does not want to be split, as this will be our third objective phase coming up. Could be a win condition for the side of BeefBois, but maybe, you never know. You honestly never know. With Death Timers kind of getting up there, if Baby on Board finds quite a few kills and staggers out deaths, this could be Fort, Keep, maybe Core. This core right here with the Triglav Protector, if the members of Baby on Board get it, they would have to find 1 or 2 more kills going into this phase, or going into the core. But I definitely think if Baby on Board can find a kill or 2 in this, they should be able to push in through bottom lane. Right now, though, for 25% and a little bit more, it seems like Baby on Board wants to just give this over, find their 20 talents here, and then go for that engagement. But right now, they can see everyone moving in through bottom lane. This should be a free keep. Ooh, actually, no, the siege isn't that quick. Siege isn't that quick, so half a keep, 3/4 of a keep. There's a decent wave here, but is there enough clear from the side of Baby on... No, Baby on Board doesn't care about the clear. They're gonna lose their keep through bottom lane. This has to be a quick play from the side of Baby on Board. They have to get to this point in 10%. Tyrael needs to get an Eldruin's Might in here or something. There's going to be the Eldruin's Might. It's not gonna be close enough. That'll be Triglav Protector. Hanzo, Smart Killer with that massive arrow to slow down the enemy team. This will confirm the Triglav Protector. Can the members of BeefBois end the game through bottom lane with this? Hogger gonna hog wild away towards the friendly team. There was a Rocket Glove that actually shut down the jugs from Lili. Cavalier in the backline pops the Sanctification. Mockery utilized the oh my god, you utilized the mind control. Wasn't able to catch anyone with that one, and this is a decent amount of sustained damage into the Triglav Protector, but still 69% nice on that Triglav Protector health. Can this end? It's getting poked here and there. The core is exposed. Falstad dumping in damage as best they can. Sexy Exy and friends are sitting underneath this fortification, underneath the Biotic Emitter. Punisher, though, Triglav Protector is just slapping this core currently, and this is looking like the members of BeefBois could take this. Taraska's trying to get some no control value into the enemy team. Mind control goes out onto Rupier Guy. This Triglav Protector's too strong, and that'll be game number 3 over to the side of BeefBois. GG, well played. Ektar, get out of here with stats. No one wants stats. No one wants stats. Ektar... Garden of Terror represents 4.5% games played this season. Hanamura represents 6.3. In Season 10, Sky Temple was stats. What are these stats? Stats. GG's. GG's. Oh, all the stats now. The stats are fine.